You have fun now. So today I'm going to show you alignment, right? And alignment is basically the structure and the positioning of the elements wey don take do your design. So wetin e mean na say if you have con ten t, for example like this, how you decide to arrange it in such a way that it makes sense is now up to you. Whether you want it to have a perfect left sided alignment, or you want it to have a perfect right sided alignment, or you want it to have a perfect center alignment. You can see this is properly centralized. Everything is looking rounded, right? If I take it to the right, you see everything is looking one sided. So this is alignment, and you can use alignment for text, objects, elements, everything. And so let's begin. I'm going to begin first of all by showing you text alignment, right? So in text alignment, when you type, you can use this function here. You can use this function here to determine the alignment of your text. So by clicking here, you can see Control N for none, Control L for left alignment, Control E for center alignment, Control R for right alignment, Control J for full justify, and Control H for forced justify. Now, I want you to practice using all of them. But as I go through them, you would notice that the text is changing its view, is changing its perspective. Now, whether you're using a paragraph text or you're using an artistic text, it still doesn't make any difference. All right. So let's hit that control space bar, and then let's control A. Let's delete everything here. Right, and then let's right click and insert a placeholder text. Right. So imagine this for instance, and then let's try use right alignment. Do you see what happened? Let's use left alignment. You see, let's go center alignment. Do you see how everything is now arranged? The same thing is happening here. Now I want you to take note of it. If we choose to use the center alignment, if we choose to use the full justify, justify creates a perfect margin on either side, both on the left and the right side. Justify will create perfect margin, right? So I will show you, you can learn how to work that out. You understand? Next, we'll be adding elements. So make an add element for here now. When it comes to element, you will no longer be using just the function of that particular alignment here, because if you notice, na only font na get this alignment. What about if I want this guy to come to this right side and start here? What will I do? This is where we now start using object alignment, right? And where can we get object alignment? Inside the object menu bar. So go to the object menu bar, look for align and distribute. This is all the functions that you saw me pressing. P to center of page, E to center vertical, C to center horizontal, B to align to the bottom, T to align to the top, arrow to align to the right, and left is simply by pressing L. So if I wanted, look at the picture on the left hand side. If I wanted that rectangle that we draw to be on the right side of the text that we are reading, what will I press? I'm going to press the align to the right. So if you align to the right, once again, let's do that. I'll select the object. Whether a picture or an object doesn't really matter. And then I'll select the text. I'll go to object, go to align and distribute, and then I'll move it to the right. Can I move it to the left? Yes, simply press L, or you go to object, align and distribute, and you press L. See, it comes to the left and it starts on a straight line. You see it starts on a straight line. And that is simply how you align objects. So you can align object with this, you can align text using the other function. Is it possible to align text? Yes, it's very possible. Now let's break this text apart and let's see something. I'm going to break this artistic text apart, and then I'm going to push one here, right? Let me push one to the side. They are far apart, but I want them to be on the same line. So shift to select this one, go to object, go to align and distribute, and then I want to align them I want to align them vertically, which is me pressing E. You see it now. So I want this one to go over to this guy. I'll go to object. I use shift to select both of them. Go to align and distribute and then press right. You get it now. So that is simply how you can adjust. Whether you bring a photo or you bring an object, it's practically the same thing. That's alignment, right? Another thing you can try to use again in order to have alignment is by snapping to grids and guidelines. Let's go to view and let's add our grid. So I'm going to add a document grid, right? Usually this works when you are using a logo. Control A to delete, Control A and delete. I deleted everything. Now let's see, I'm in my page, right? And in this page, I want to be using, say, this guy. I want to be using my grid, to work things out. I'm going to add my guideline. In order for me to be able to get accurate measurements, I'm going to be snapping to document grid, right? And then I'm also going to be snapping view, snap again to guidelines, right? Now, this allows me to create a perfect, you know, a perfect, you understand? So I'm basically using a grid to create whatever it is that I want, right? So when you are dealing with Fibonacci, in alignment and stuff like that, this can help you a lot when you are creating. And most of the time I use this when I'm creating logo, like I said before. And you might decide to study up more on using grid lines and guidelines, but it's very possible to use it. There are systems of accuracy in measurement and drawing, and it can also help you in alignment as well, right? So it's very simple for me to pick this guy, right? Come to this edge and just drag it. Even without using control, you can see that I can maintain a perfect line just using the grid. It just keeps snapping. You see it? It just keeps snapping and I'm like one grid away. You see, it's perfect. I'm not even using control right now, but I have perfect alignment. Perfect alignment, right? This is a perfect alignment with the will of God. Okay, jokes aside. But simply, that's how you make alignment. And that's pretty much all for this video. In the next video, I'm going to be showing you advanced techniques of using layers for organization. And then we'll start dealing with um, special effects. Okay, I think something I can show you right now is how you can deal with layers. All right, so let's talk about dealing with layers. Not a lot of people use this. Not a lot of people use this, right? And the reason is because it's not just something that CorelDRAW that, let's just say, not a lot of people, except maybe you are, I think, a stack professional, something like that. I, I don't really know how to explain this, but you see, this object that is right here, it gives you layers. That is, all the design you have done so far is going to appear in a layer format, in that you can decide to deal with one particular tool or one particular element on the page at a time. So if I go to object and I come here to click object, you will see this drop down menu here. This menu that shows here is telling us everything that we have done so far. So now look at the pages, the layers and the objects are shown here. This one here is one that is showing us the layers that we have dealt with so far. So in these layers now you can see rectangle, 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 which is the 3 rectangles that we have on the page. If you press F4, we can zoom to page. You see we have 3 rectangles. This one has black color, this one doesn't have a color, this one doesn't have a color. So what we can do, you can choose to hide one. Very possible. You can choose to select that one using layers. So basically we can use layers to like select what we are dealing with. Let's say you had something that is behind this guy, right? You have this guy and it is behind this guy. We cannot see it. We cannot see it. Instead of pushing this one to back, you can simply come here to select it, right? If you select, you see how easy it is. So that is how we use this object layer guide to help us in our design. And we can tell that this is page 1. So it's very possible to create page 2. You can come here go back to page 1, edit here, come here, go back to page 2 and start editing things that are in page 2. Let me just draw a little bit of stuff here, right? So we have polygon, 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 polygon. Then we can come back here to page 1 again, and we can just be using this to help us while we do design. You understand? So what did I say? Go to object and select this object panel that is at the bottom, and this will help you to use to bring out this layer system, and you can use that to help you in creating your or adjusting or properly manipulating your designs, right? So if you don't get this, you can ask questions. Shey you get? Right. So in the next video, I'm going to show you special effects and how we can create something nicer. All right.